This is lesson 23 of beer characteristics, and in this lesson, we are looking at the sulfury character in beer. The sulfury character in beer. Sulfur dioxide can provide a struck match aroma at high levels or a mild background note at low levels. Hydrogen sulfide has a character of rotten eggs and is produced during fermentation. These sulfury notes are primarily derived from yeast activity or from the mineral content in the brewing water. Sulfur dioxide in beer. Sulfur dioxide is a natural byproduct of fermentation. At high levels, it resembles a struck match character. In light amounts, it can be appropriate in some beer styles. In German light lagers and Kolsch, a light sulfury background note is acceptable. In Keller beer and Australian sparkling ales, a more persistent sulfury note is acceptable. Sulfate minerals and British beer styles. British styles like bitters and English IPAs may have a subtle sulfury or mineral character. This is due to the sulfates in the brewing water and produced by the yeast. This adds a mild mineral complexity to these styles, differentiating them from other regional beers. Hydrogen sulfide in beer. At high levels, it resembles rotten eggs, and at low levels, it's closer to fresh, hard-boiled eggs. Hydrogen sulfide is produced in the early phases of fermentation, especially by lager yeast strains. This character is usually scrubbed out by carbon dioxide during the fermentation or reduced during lagering. Acceptable versus unpleasant levels of hydrogen sulfide. In low levels, it has a fresh character to German lagers. At high levels, the rotten egg character is undesirable in most styles. Causes of excessive hydrogen sulfide production: prolonged yeast fermentation or inadequate nitrogen in the wort. It can be reduced by a proper lagering, good yeast health, or switching yeast strains. Sulfury flavor can be caused by contamination. Certain bacteria, like Zymomonas, produce very high levels of hydrogen sulfide. This results in a strong offensive smell resembling wastewater or raw sewage. Proper sanitation and storage practices is the best prevention against bacterial contamination. The sulfury character in summary. Sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide both are natural in beer, but should be controlled. Acceptable styles: light sulfur notes in German lagers and some British ales. Sanitation and yeast management are key for controlling undesirable levels. And if we find an excessive sulfury character in a beer that we are presented during our judging exam, we can monitor fermentation practices and sanitation to avoid unwanted sulfury characteristics. And that is all on the sulfury character in beer, so I will see you in the next lesson.